What's going on, everyone? My name is Under the Radar, and welcome to the PPL. This is going to be the team builder, and I kind of want to talk to you guys a little bit. First off, there's not going to be a layout this week. I will have a layout for the PPL. It'll probably just be like similar to the ones that I do for the NPL, or I'm sorry, for the NPA. However, there's no layouts this week because of my job. I got a promotion, in case you guys did not know, or I'm working on getting a promotion. I'm getting trained for it this week, along with school, along with NPA, along with a whole bunch of other stuff. So I just didn't have time to do it. I barely got my draft analysis up in time. I actually uploaded it today, and today is whenever the team builder is supposed to go up, and tomorrow's when the battle's supposed to go up. But I figured I would just let you guys know there will be layouts. It will be more aesthetically pleasing. Just give it until next week, and I do apologize. However, this week we are playing Monotui in the Tampa Bay Luxrays. If you do not know who he is, I do not know what you're doing with your life. I say this all the time. However, there are so many amazing people in the PPL, and Mono is one of them. He's also in the GBA. If you do not know, he is tearing up the GBA right now with things like Jirachi and Buzzwole and Gren. And I have Gren on my team, but you guys would love his channel if you were not subbed to him, so go check him out. He's an amazing dude. He's really an amazing dude, but his team is disgusting, and I don't like him for his team, and because of his team, I strongly dislike that. And I've also never beaten him in League format, never. I played him 3 times now, or I'm sorry, has it been 3 times? If you count the March Madness, no, Pokemon Draft World Cup, it's been 3 times. Never beaten him once. So that also makes me want to work really hard for this game. I spent a lot of time on this team. I spent a lot of time prepping. I spent a lot of time doing mocks. And I think I came up with a pretty good team. But I've never beaten him, so I really want to at least give him a really good game, so that way I can feel like I'm not complete shit at the game. After my game against John, I was really feeling down, about me in leagues, and me in mods in general, YouTube in general. So I really just want to have a really good game with Mono, and prove to myself that I belong in the NPA, I belong in the PPL, and I plan on doing that with Mono this week. So let's take a look at his team. He has Victini, Hydreigon, Mega Venusaur, Gliscor, Klefki, Kofag, Licky, Hawlucha, and Swampert. Now, just as a reminder of my team, let me go ahead and pull it up. My team is Kyurem Black, Mew, Zapdos, Fortress, Darmanitan, Greninja, Aromatisse, Piloswine. I don't have it in front of me, and I can't remember. The Contrary Leaf Storm 7th Gen thingy, Lurantis, and Venipede. That is my team. His team will be up on the screen. A couple things to note about his team that is actually terrifying is that he has a Victini, and my fire resists are Darmanitan and Greninja, and that's absolutely terrifying. He also has a Hydreigon, which is a big threat to my team, especially since his Z-move users are Victini and Hydreigon. He can just run Z Corkscrew Crash and blow through my fairy, so that's really scary for my team. Another thing to note is that his hazard removal options are Gliscor. He doesn't have good hazard removal options, and I plan to take advantage of that this game. He also has really good walls. However, not all of them have really good reliable recovery. For example, Mega Venusaur has good reliable recovery in Synthesis. However, against my team, I think he needs Sludge Bomb, Leech Seed. I think he also needs something to try to hit my Gren. It's just hard. He might not have room for Synthesis on it, but he also has Klefki, Kofag, Licky, and Swampert. Kofag gets Rest, Licky gets Wish. However, if I taunt Licky because it is decently slow, I can prevent it from Wish stalling me up, and if I Toxic it, I can actually beat it 1v1 with a lot of my team. Same thing with Swampert, and because his walls don't have the best reliable recovery, I want to hazard stack him, and I want to be able to whittle them down pretty easily. So let's just go ahead and take a look at the team that I decided to build, starting with this first set of Boobies. Now, this set is really important. I have max speed Jolly Fortress. This guarantees to outspeed completely physically defensive Mega Venusaur. This also outspeeds things like Klefki, Kofag, Swampert. I can outspeed every single one of his walls aside from Gliscor and set up my rocks. Rocks are so important against this team because I'm able to hit the Victini for 25% upon entry, and if I have a layer of spikes up, it'll do another 6%, and that's huge. So making sure that I have hazards is really important. I have Mental Herb because if he decides to bring hazard removal, hold on one second. Sorry about that. If he decides to bring hazard removal, it will be on Gliscor. However, My hazard setters are Gren, which he won't stay in on anyway, to remove the hazards. Mew, which he can still taunt me if I'm a defensive Mew and stop me from getting it up. Fortress and Venipede. All of them he can taunt it. So if he does bring hazard removal, I'm expecting him to actually bring taunt on his Gliscor. With Mental Herb, I can guarantee get my rocks up and I don't have to worry about it later on. And then if he's Toxic Heal, I can go about that later on. But pretty much max speed because I can outspeed his walls, max HP to help me take hits a little bit better from things like Swampert, things like Klefki to set up my hazards, and to rapid spin away on his walls aside from the Kofag. Toxic is there because I'm fully expecting him to bring like Calm Mind Kofag and Licky Licky with Wish and Swampert, and if I can get up hazards and then I can poison them, that is absolutely amazing for me. So I think Fortress is going to be a really big player this game, even if it's just for like the first couple turns. Getting up hazards is going to come in clutch this game. But then we're going to talk about one of my win cons, and this is my Kyurem Black. I'm bringing a Lonely Nature because a lot of his team that I want to live a hit from, like I don't know how to word this, a hit that is super effective that I would want to stay in to nuke them, the majority of them are special. For example, Hydreigon hitting Draco or Flash Cannon or something like that, Klefki hitting Flash Cannon or Dazzling Gleam, Kofag hitting Shadow Ball, Hawlucha with High Jump Kick, even if I wasn't a minus defense nature, it would nuke me. Same thing with Victini's Banded V Create or something like that. And Swampert's Scald is another thing. So I want to be able to make sure that my defense is lowered and not my special defense. I have enough speed to outspeed his walls like Gliscor with a lot, because aside from that, I can outspeed his Victini and Hydreigon anyway. So his speed tiers are kind of weird with that. They're even more weird than mine, I think. So I can't outspeed any of his offensive mons. I can outspeed all of his walls with very minimal investment, and I can nuke a lot of stuff. Dragon Claw, Iron Head, and Ice Beam nuke literally everything on his team for a really good amount of damage, especially with Adamant max attack. And I have the Steelium Z with Iron Head. The reason why I have Steelium Z with Iron Head is because after Stealth Rocks, Spikes, one Ice Beam, he dies to a Steel Z move, even if he has leftovers on Klefki. That's what this... No, that was... Yes, that's what that special attack investment was for. It also guarantees that I can, I think, OHKO Fizdef Mega Venusaur with Ice Beam after Stealth Rock and Layer Spike. I think that's what that was for. Might have been to kill... Maybe enable to 2 KO Kofag. It was something along those lines. That special attack investment was really important. Whatever was left over just went into HP. And then I have Roost. Because he does have things like Licky Licky that can Wish Stall me, he has things like Kofag, which can set up in my face, or it can just be really fat and annoying, and I can beat it 1v1 with Dragon Claw, and I can Roost up unless he has like Toxic, or if he has Will-O-Wisp or something like that, I can Ice Beam him. I want to be able to get up my health, especially because I fully expect him to hazard stack me. That's Mono's playstyle. I've been watching him for a long time now. I've also been playing him for a long time now. He loves hazard stack. That's why he has Klefki, so he can get up spikes right before he dies. So I fully expect that, and it's pretty easy for him to hazard stack against my team as well. So this thing is going to be a really big key player to the game. Now, this is what you call actual heat. I'm bringing Fizdef Darmanitan. I do want to give a shout out to my buddy Jolt. I was stressing out over this game. This was around midterms whenever I was building this team, and I was like, I have nothing for Victini. Nothing. It literally gets a kill every single time it comes in, and I was absolutely terrified to play it. However, we hopped in call. I told him what my team was. Pretty much everything else stayed the same, but he was like, change Darmanitan to Fizdef and see how it does. I played a bunch of mocks with it. It came in clutch, and I really think it'll do well in the game. It'll at least help me wall the Victinis. That way it'll make him take hazards damage and then have to switch out and take more hazards damage. But I have Rest, Toxic, Fire Punch, and Roar. His only switch into this is realistically Swampert. It's a very good switch into this. And if he wants to switch into a layer of Stealth Rock and Spike, I can actually Toxic him, and then I can force him to take even more damage, and that's amazing. I can also Roar him out to take him to have something else take damage. The only problem with that is that it's really risky on like rolls for what comes in with Roar, but Toxic plus Fire Punch plus Roar does a lot to his team. Fire Punch to Klefki does a whole lot of damage. Like, I think it 2 KOs even Fizdef Klefki because of Sheer Force and 140 base attack. So it's a really good move to have against him. I can pretty much spam it late game if Swampert is gone and still do a lot of damage to stuff. And I also have Rest here. Rest is pretty important because I do have a Heal Beller on my team, as you can see. So I'm not able to reliably recover. Like, this thing doesn't get slack off like Infernape does. Like, why can't this thing slack off? But Infernape can. Like, this thing looks like it could literally just sit there and take a nap. Like, it looks like it could actually slack off. Anyway, I don't need any investment in speed because I need this thing to be as fat as possible to take on Victini. The only thing that can actually 2-hit KO me is Banded Bolt Strike, and it does 46% minimum, so it's actually really scary to the fact that Banded Victini does that much to my team. But I'll be able to roar around, get off some good chip damage with Toxic, rest up, Heal Bell it off, and come back in, and it's going to be a really good annoyance to his team, I think. So let's talk about another one of my win cons. Aside from Kyurem Black, Greninja is a huge win con. This outspeeds quite literally everything on his team aside from the, what's it called? The Hawlucha. Now, if I wanted to outspeed the Hawlucha, I would have to run Timid max speed pretty much. I can't do that because I want to make sure that after a layer of Stealth Rock and Spike, I want to make sure that Low Kick is a 2-hit KO, or even just like Stealth Rock, Low Kick is a 2-hit KO on Licky Licky if it's max HP, because I think it'll have to be Spadef to try to switch into Life Orb, Water Pulses, and Ice Beams from Kyurem, things of that nature. So I really expect him to bring Spadef. So Life Orb just does a whole lot to his team. Now, remember how I said that the Stealth Rocks and Spikes damage is really important from my Fortress? If I get up one Stealth Rock, well, you can only get up rocks, you know what I mean. If I get up Stealth Rocks and 2 layers of Spikes, he is in range to die from 3 hits from Water Shuriken from Greninja with Life Orb, with modest max special attack, mild max special attack. Like, it does a lot of damage. Not to mention, Ice Beam plus Dark Pulse do a whole lot to his team. Like, look at his resist to Ice Beam and Dark Pulse. It's Klefki, and Klefki is really pressured by my team with Hazards, Darmanitan plus Kyurem. It's really pressured by those two together, so I really don't think that Klefki will be the best switch into this thing. This thing is my win con. If I don't preserve this until late game, I will lose. That is just something that I've come to terms with. Also, if I don't have this thing alive to Water Shuriken the Victini, I will lose to Victini late game. So, big win con right here, and that's pretty important. So, this is my next set, my Aromatisse, max HP pretty much, because odd numbers and stuff like that. Mixed defensive. What this mixed defensiveness is for, this guarantees that a Z move from Hydreigon cannot do more than 50% to me with my Babiri Berry. So, Z Corkscrew Crash, if he is Iron Tail or Flash Cannon, max attack, max special attack does less, well, does 50% maximum. And I can click Moonblast on it and kill it and get it out of the way, and then I can spam Dark Pulse with my Greninja and not have to worry about it. I can spam Water Shuriken and I can kill things late game. And Heal Bell is also here to Heal Bell off the rest from my Darmanitan. So ultimately, this thing is also a really big win con. It's my safety check to Z-move Hydreigon or just Scarf Hydreigon with Flash Cannon. It's really, really nice. And it can't be taunted by his taunters like Gliscor and Hydreigon and things like that. So it's going to be a really good mon in this game because I can Wish Protect. I can pretty much stall him if I Toxic with my Fortress and my Darm. It's a really good bring this week. But now, so Darmanitan changed from Scarf to Bulky. This didn't really change much. This didn't change much. This didn't change much. This Mew set changed a lot. So originally I was going to run this much speed investment with modest max special attack with a lot of HP investment. What that would have done is that would have allowed me to take hits from pretty much all of his physical attackers. I would have been able to take a Dark Pulse from Hydreigon and click Dazzling Gleam and kill it. I would have been able to live a Scarf V-Create, click Shadow Ball, and after the drops plus rocks plus 1 layer of spikes, it would have OHKO'd him. There was a lot that this Mew would have done. However, in one of my mocks, no, in 2 of my mocks, someone brought a SD Hawlucha, and it runs through my team. I didn't even realize it until after the fact. However, let's take a look at what my fighting switch in is right now, and that is my Aromatisse. If I lose my Aromatisse, I lose my check to Hydreigon. So that's terrifying. However, with these two, with the 2 berries, I'm able to do a lot better against the combination of Hawlucha plus Hydreigon. So I definitely think bringing a more defensive set was really important. I have Taunt to try to prevent Klefki from setting up hazards on me, but because he has Prankster, he's going to be able to set up at least one layer on my Mew anyway. But I also have Taunt to prevent Kofag from setting up Calm Minds and sweeping me, setting up Trick Room and sweeping me, Licky Licky setting up Curse and sweeping me, things of that nature. There's a lot of stuff that Taunt is really good for on his team. It prevents Gliscor from like roosting and Protect stalling me. Same thing with the Mega Venusaur Leech Seed stalling me. Like, there's a lot that Taunt's good for on his team. I decided to opt out of Psychic Stab. Now, I know that's going to sound weird because I'm going up against a Mega Venusaur. However, my team matches up extremely well against Mega Venusaur. I have a Kyurem Black, one of the best nukes to it in the game. I have a Darmanitan, which even at physically defensive, if I'm Choice Scarf Darmanitan, Flare Blitz does like 80% to physically defensive. It does a lot. So I don't think he'll be bringing it, so I opted out of it. I have Taunt, and I can wear it down with Shadow Ball. That's how I'm going to try to beat it. And I also opted out of Psychic Stab, which might be weird against the Hawlucha. However, if this is going to be my initial switch into Hawlucha, after it takes Rocks, I'll be able to 2 KO with Dazzling Gleam anyway, as to where Psychic was a roll to OHKO him, and if he's SD, I can live a +2 Acrobatics anyway. I can live a +2 Stone Edge. Like, I can live one hit from a +2 anything on Hawlucha's moveset, and then I can go into Gren and I can click Water Shuriken and I can kill it after that. So I do have ways of checking his offense. The main thing that's going to be a problem is that Victini Hydreigon offensive core. It's so hard to switch into, and my team doesn't have the best switch-ins in general anyway. But that is pretty much the team that I'm bringing week 1. I hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure you let me know what you think of the team down below. But I'm hoping that we have a really good game. You guys will see it probably late Monday or Tuesday. I'm not sure just yet because we just had the game. But I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to leave a like down below for me. Let me know what you thought of the team, and I will see you guys in the battle. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.